Interesting race we have here.
Yeah. MarbleSoda, second place runner on the leaderboards for this route. Mash is an older runner who's started getting back into the game for the tournament.
Everything that lives is designed to end. We are perpetually trapped in a never-ending spiral of life and death. Is this a curse? Or some kind of punishment? I often think about the god who blessed us with this cryptic puzzle, and wonder if we'll ever have the chance to kill him.
Anyway, so this is NieR Automata. If you guys haven't heard of it or played it, so essentially it's like a hack and slash RPG. This question gets asked a lot, and the question's like, how long do these runs usually last? Well, in this case, it's probably going to be around like an hour 50 maybe. MarbleSoda is probably going to finish around an hour 30 mark, but Mash might finish around an hour 50. Just want to say that quickly because a lot of people ask how long these runs go for. They are surprisingly long compared to other speed games. So.
Yeah,
Already engaged. Free movement unlocked.
Decently long.
Origin point of long-range
This
lasers confirmed.
little section here is just at a time that we don't have anything to do.
Yeah, it's just a minute 40 of waiting around. Nothing like, no enemies spawn yet. This is what we call a shmup section, so a shoot 'em up section. You're gonna be seeing shortly the main idea, like the main concept that happens within this stuff. So yeah, just enemies spawning in waves, and the idea is to take them out as fast as you can. You can lose like a bit of time on this if you're not as optimal within your killing, I guess, but it's not that hard to keep your time up here. And for anyone also wondering, this is not the whole game. If you haven't played it, it's a lot more exciting than this.
Yeah, this section is just optimizing how quickly you can kill off these enemies so that the next wave spawns. Obviously pretty different strats from both runners.
Okay, so if you look at MarbleSoda's screen and Mash's screen right now, they're both on this different type of shmup. It's like the mobile configuration, that's right. So this is like the different form of the shmup. Essentially this is like the better form. So this form, it does more damage, I'm pretty sure. It's also a lot easier to like hit things. It's also the main thing that'll be used throughout the run, which you guys will see later on. There's 4 total sections of shmup. This is the first of the 4. Really not much to talk about here. It's just...
Yeah, talk about the tiny optimization of getting hit by
Talk
lasers.
about how broken the textures are if you look on the left side of Mash's screen of the game. I guess another thing to point out is runners taking like intentional damage. That is to use up their recoveries that they have. Essentially that just saves some menuing time later on at a boss that you'll see. Okay, so MarbleSoda is coming up to the end of the shop section, going into basically the main gist of what this run is all about.
Alert. Alert. Large enemy group detected.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Okay, so first thing to point out right away is the attack that MarbleSoda is doing. So what he's doing is he's dashing and then throwing out a heavy. So essentially, a heavy, if you have a controller, it's triangle or I don't actually know what the Xbox One is. I don't use one, but yeah. So essentially, that's what we call a damage glitch. It does 5 times the regular damage of like an attack, and it's obviously used throughout the run because of that. Later on, we'll be using a different form of a DG, which I'll be explaining later.
Negative. This enemy is unrelated. Proposal. Dispatch it as swiftly as possible.
You don't say.
Yeah, the example of like the damage that it's able to output is just, if you've played the game before, you know that it's not normal damage. You're able to kill Marks 1. This is the first mini boss, and then Marks 1. You're able to threshold his HP in 1 cycle, which is really nice.
Cup, no.
Oh,
Our
Okay, so on MarbleSoda screen we have the first and probably the easiest skip, or one of the easiest skips in the game. It's called Crane Skip. It's a simple high jump. It looks really complicated, but it's actually really simple if you understand the inputs of this game.
Send you the map data I collected earlier.
do it.
And he's now entering
Exit. Confirmed closed.
So
what we like to call silos. So there's 3 silos.
Base are jamming.
The first silo you saw
Super easy.
was where you fight Marks 1 and where you crash after the shmup. This is the second of the third. This one is a bit different. There's a first wave of stubbies like the first one. And there's these flying... What are these called again? small flyers?
Small flyers.
Yeah, small flyers. It's just essentially in these silos you want to be taking out the enemies as fast as you can. You have a couple strats here that can be used with the pod program. So if you play this game, that you know that these things called the pod program. So essentially when you... I actually don't know how to explain it. Do you want to explain it?
Well, pod program is like your pod that does the shooting has an extra ability, I guess you'd call it, that you can change. In the prologue, it will be set to a laser. So obviously, we saw Marbles using that earlier to take out as many of the flights as he could in that section.
Yeah, and you're seeing the first instance of a out of bounds. Essentially, we just clip outside of the hole, I guess, and just skip a large section of running. This is the third silo, smashes in the second. So Marble currently has like a pretty sizable lead, but it was honestly to be expected because Marble's a second place runner in the world, and which is very rusty, I guess you could say. He's not played in a while.
Well, that was a fairly quick silo 3 exit for Marble there. He's going for angle swag now.
Oh yeah, this is a pretty new strat actually.
Moved it somewhere?
It saves like less than a second. Gets it, which is nice. You can actually soft lock on that if you plunge too far to the right, but it's pretty hard to soft lock there. One thing-
Mash is on, right now is on bridge skip, which is one of the
It's not like command
harder
location
skips in the game for the
I guess even they get
the
bad
timing
intel
of your
from time to
inputs.
time, huh?
Yeah, this is like considered to be a precise skip in like terms of inputs, not like an angle or a frame or something like that. It's just in terms of spacing your inputs out.
Response from long-range communications.
It's pretty tough for new runners especially, but with
Yeah,
some
it can
practice it's
definitely be
pretty
difficult when you
consistent.
get started.
So if we look at
'Cause, yeah, Marble is on the Marks 2 fights. Here, this boss, you only have to get him down to a threshold of half his HP and wait for the attack animation to finish, and then he'll just drop. So I was just trying to get all that damage done without slowing down the animation at all.
Mash's having some trouble with the bridge skip, it seems. Anyway, if you look at Marble's screen, this is the first main boss, I guess you could say. His name is Engels. Essentially this whole phase here is just a time section. It goes for about 1:20. And yeah, there's nothing we can do here to speed this up. Can't slow this down or speed it up, so anything you do here doesn't really matter. And Mash is still stuck on bridge skip, it seems.
Oh yeah. A couple of these are just a case of doing inputs too fast so that you don't get as much heart as you can.
Yeah, this game's like really important when it comes to like spacing your attacks, because when you attack in midair, all your attacks actually like launch you up a little bit. So the longer you wait out the animation, the more height you're going to get. But Mash is just essentially cancelling his animations too quickly.
What's your status?
And
Oh, Marvel's got hammer punches.
okay, so on this boss, in this phase 2, essentially this boss can give you 6 different attacks. The 2 of them, one of them being this one and another punching attack, makes you lose 23 seconds. Like literally no matter what you do.
Oh no.
And anyway, so Marvel's gonna get some time loss purely on purely because of RNG, which has been unfortunate. Mash.
Mash got on top of the bridge and then didn't quite make the distance, so that will respawn him back near to where Crane is.
Hang on a second.
That's a move up there.
Marvel's going around right.
Marvel's is right piping. What is this? This is heresy.
Anyway, so we have this thing going on within the community. This is like an out of bounds, like a swag shot type of thing. Don't get hit. Oh, is he changing? No. Oh, what the hell is this? This is unreal. We have like a debate on which pipe is the better pipe. Majority of people go on left pipe, and right pipe people are just, well, yeah, there's something wrong with them, I think. Anyway, we're to the end of this phase now. Marble.
Hacking in.
Okay, Mash seems to have given up on the bridge skip and is
Yeah.
moving around.
That seems to have given up. Alright, so on Marble Stream, we're going to be seeing a new technique here. It's called a double lift. Essentially, when you're like moving up a slope and you do a lift, which is the jump and then a heavy attack, you get height, and if you're doing it up a slope, you get 2. So essentially refreshes your lift and all your jumps and heavies. So you're able to start a little bit like a jump from a higher position than you would be able to normally. Anyway, so this is called ninjas. I like to call them that because these enemies drop down, and Marvel's having a bit of rough ninjas.
Yeah, they jump back a lot. Those stories can, so you'll it's hard to hit lasers or damage glitches on them sometimes.
Okay,
They
so
can cause you a lot of trouble.
yeah. Did they pre-stream just die for you?
No, my reasons well. Okay, here Marbles is just on the end of the Angles fight. This is semi-timed and semi-RNG. Angles will do an attack after his final attack after a certain line of dialogue. So Marbles is just hoping that an attack finishes just as that dialogue finishes, so that he goes straight into the attack that progresses the game.
Take it over.
I told you to shut up!
That was fairly decent RNG.
Control of upper arm. Seized from enemy unit. Marking weak point. Got it.
Seize its control system.
Affirmative. Infiltrating enemy subunit. Begin. Gear table adjusted. Balance controls overridden. Enemy unit subjugation complete.
No, here Marble's just coming up on the end of prologue. He's just gonna be smashing angles with his own arm.
Okay, there we go.
Dead on 15 minutes. RTA, so that's probably a 1458 logless or 1457.
Something like that.
Nothing for.
Anyway, so now we're in the main, like, I guess you could say headquarters of the run. Even though we don't really come back here very often, but it is the headquarters of, like, Yoha. So this is called the bunker, and there's not much we have to do here. We only come here one more time, and essentially we're going to be doing the hardest part of the game, the menuing. The menuing in this game is really terrible. It's actually disgusting how bad it is. There's a 7-frame delay on your inputs. It's really bad, but Marble gets it pretty fine. That was actually pretty good.
Morning.
Yeah, input delay can be pretty rough in this game.
Yeah, definitely. It can slow you down, it can mess you up. Here, he's just going to be mashing through a lot of text. And then we'll see a little trick coming up called a dialogue skip. He's going to dash into 9S to get him to follow you, and then stop right next to those transporters, talk to 9S as he walks to them, because there's normally a small sort of a slow walk section, but if the dialogue with 9S is open as you go past the trigger for that, it cancels both of them out.
Better head for the hangar. Usually we can't get near flight units. They're way too expensive for.
You'll be seeing more of that LLI dialogue cancel later on during the run. There's actually a ton of places that we use it. The time really adds up. I think it saves around 30 seconds overall, maybe 35. So it's pretty convenient.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the second of the fourth shmup section in this run. Once again, it's just taking out these waves as fast as possible.
Orders are orders. Alright, alright.
You're going to have some new weaponry installed from here on out. I'll put up instructions for you. Make sure to commit them to memory.
Roger.
So yeah, mash again on angles still, but MarbleSoda is... Marble has around a, I want to say, 8-minute lead already, something like that.
That sounds about right.
Maybe 9. Something like that anyway. He has a pretty huge lead.
Yeah, Mash getting caught up on that bridge skip lost a lot of time, alongside just like small things that Mash didn't do that Marbles has been, and just small time losses.
Understood. Good luck down there.
Okay, so here we're gonna have the first actual bit of like movement. First like movement section during the run. And this game is all about optimizing your movement. It really adds up in the long run when you're trying to go for a good time.
Target location.
So yeah, here we're just running to
target location.
the actual like main headquarters. That's not the bunker. That is the resistance camp. And there's a couple things we have to do there first before we can move on with the game. Which is pretty unfortunate, but it's actually somewhat useful, which you'll see
I've been
soon.
seeing more and more enemies like this lately. They just stand there and stare into space. It's pretty weird.
Also, another thing to point out is Marble is doing this attack where he punches. So this like it pushes you forward a little bit. It doesn't save much time.
Resistance camp, huh?
I think over 15 dash punches is what we call them. It saves around 0.8 seconds or something. So it's almost negligible, but
It's very
Ac-
small.
yeah, but it does add up.
Target location
Be surprised.
data obtained. Marking on map.
Yeah, like I said, this
Yeah.
game's really about optimizing your movement.
Ian Morals is just picking up a few quests that are marked as side quests but are necessary to progress the story. He has to collect some
This must have been quite a
items,
city once
fetch
upon a time.
quests.
Too bad
Are fun.
vegetation's claimed most of it now.
It's pretty silly. They counted as side quests, but they're actually main
Operator 6-0
quests.
to 2B. It is time for your
Anyway,
regularly
they
scheduled
do
car
actually
pass.
This is 2B.
they're actually
Nothing
pretty
to
useful
report.
in the long run though,
Here.
as we are.
Hey, how's the weather
Well, you
on
will
Earth
see
today?
pretty soon why it's
Good?
useful.
It's fine. Does that question have anything to do with our operation?
Not really. I just
One thing to
figured
point
it
out
might
is
be nice
Marble
to
is
have
actually
good weather.
That should
using
be
a
enough.
thing that we like to call pod
Let's get this
slow-mo.
back to the trader.
So, like we
Like this
explained
will
earlier
go to
during the
central
run,
area.
when you use a pod program, an attack comes out like a laser, for example, which we'll also be seeing later on. But in this case, when you're charging up that pod program, the world slows by 50%. Everyone, but 2B, slows by 50%, so it's really useful. You see why, like, these enemies aren't able to dodge Marble's attacks. He's also able to avoid enemies' attacks, which is overall a really useful
Okay,
thing.
That's everything the supply trader asked for. Man, these chores are a real pain in the butt, huh?
The Resistance is a valuable ally to Yorha. By helping them, we also help ourselves. So no, I don't think they're a pain.
Yeah.
Morals just doing a nice little dash swing past. That's fuck, what's she called?
The mysterious lady.
The mysterious lady. Oh, damn. Yeah. Just to get a bit further while interacting with her.
Anyway, so as you saw there, Marble picked up an upgrade for his sword. So this is going to allow him to get a faster attack speed on his sword, which is going to give him the ability to do some clips later during the run. And it also gives a huge damage boost. I think it's 80%, so it's really significant. Which is probably the only reason that these quests are even worth doing. We actually also do get a level up, so I guess it is pretty important. But
Yeah, and the attack speed boost means that now dash slinging is faster than dash punching.
yeah, so in this
So-
game, dashing is actually, like regular dashing, is faster than sprinting. And the reason this happens is because when you sprint, you have to build up your sprint, and it takes around, I think someone timed it to be like 58 seconds or something like that, for you to actually make your sprint faster than your dash. And we're gonna have 58 seconds to spend during your run.
No,
So-
there aren't any points where we'll be running for 58 seconds straight, I don't think. Mush did just finish prologue a little bit ago with about a 22-minute prologue, I think it was.
Map data obtained from
Yeah, it's a
So-
pretty
Yeah,
poor time, but
system menu.
it was to be expected really because of the bridge skip that happened.
Picture from this. Our satellite resolution isn't
Anyway,
so high.
so Marbles again, just doing movement. This is another out of
General
bounds.
idea is good enough.
We also picked up a transporter there.
You don't let
This is
anything
going to allow us
get in your way,
to do something later on. It basically opens up a save point. So if we're in this certain area, if you look on the map, it's a little white circle. Well, it's not little, it's actually pretty huge. It's going to allow us to save within that circle. And it's going to be really useful later on. And also, there's another out of bounds here. If you haven't noticed already, this game is... Oh,
Marbles
good point out.
pointing
Wait, this
out.
game is really broken.
Who opens a sealed gate
Okay,
with
he's taking it
explosives?
safe and
There's gotta be an easier
not
way,
going
right?
to do the discovery skip here. You can
Yeah.
go around the outside of that out of bounds and hit the trigger while still out of bounds, which allows you to skip this little cutscene that's going to show up here.
Yeah, saves
Save
around
a
5
lot
seconds.
of time, but you basically start losing time once you void out.
This sand
Yeah.
sure is slippery.
It's really not worth going for, if you're like a new runner. For Marble though, it's like possible for him to do it, but I mean, really, it's not worth it if you played out. May as well just clip and bounce. That also could have been an accidental clip.
No, it's
Anyway,
possible.
so here we're picking up Pod C. So the reason we do this is because, well, you might be thinking this is just a huge waste of time. You're going
Careful.
out of your way for
Enemies
nothing.
approaching.
It actually does save time, especially in the shmup sections. We're also going to be using it in this second boss fight that's coming up. Oh, well, I guess it's the first real boss fight. If you count angles as one, but
Yeah, the second pod program helps a lot for later shmups, but also just having a second pod in case you mess up some slow-mo somewhere, which allows you to just like continue slow-moing if you do, is useful.
yeah. But not only does it allow us to use two, it lets us use 3 lasers later on.
Target ID marked.
Which you'll see, I think, unless Marble gets 2 lasers. Anyway, we have a one of the major skips during the run. So this is called Desert Housing Skip. So if you've played through this game, you know that there's some mini cutscenes and a lot of going through the like back, like all these houses. But one of our glitch hunters, Marquis, found this clip. If Marvel can get it.
This,
Actually,
yeah, this
surprisingly hard.
clip. There we go.
Oh, there we go. There we go. It's 4th try. That's pretty nice. Anyway, the skip saves, yeah, like I said, 40 seconds. So it's pretty big. And it's definitely worth learning when you start the run.
Yeah, I think it was you who forced me to start learning it.
Yeah. It's really important.
Yeah, it's a massive time save to do it. It's something you're really going to need if you want to get even a decent time, really. Anything,
So yeah. We clipped out of bounds there. And then we had to hit a trigger, which we saw Marble doing some aerial movement there. And now, as we've just seen, Marble's like equipped another sword on his other weapons. So this is gonna let us, it's gonna give us access to what we like to call double damage glitch, found by
They don't have
one of the top runners, Kasern, or Kasane, however you want to say his name. Anyway, this is gonna give us like 10 times the damage. Just 1 DG is 5 times, so when we have 2, we're gonna be able to do 10 times the damage, which is really huge, especially in the late game. You're extremely underleveled. Like, you're 10 levels under the final boss, sometimes 11, depending on how your game goes, but... So it's a huge damage boost. So another thing to point out is, if you look on these enemies, these stubbies, you're gonna be seeing their faces turn orange. So if you've played this game, you might know what that is, but essentially it's called taunting. This is when we flash our flashlight like rapidly in the enemy's face, and it gives them a buff. The buff makes them take, what is it, like 1.5 times the damage? Something like that.
yeah, they take and do somewhere around that amount.
Yeah, they take and deal 1.5 times the damage. So it's risky, but it's really worth it, especially because you can just use a lot of recoveries during this run.
Yeah, in this run we are not starved for money at all, so we can have as many recoveries as we need, really.
Yeah. Anyway, this is
So as
Adam
long as
1. The first like actual boss of the game. It's actually surprisingly a hard fight, considering it's only like the first one. You can do a lot of attacks where he dodges your attacks or has iframes, or just sometimes you don't hit him because he has a really small hitbox. Okay, Mumbles had a pretty nice fight. That was almost perfect, actually. And Mash is having some trouble with this skip, it seems.
some issues with the barricade skip.
Yeah, it's not that hard, but I'm not sure what's happening. It's probably a 1 out of 5 if you were to rate it.
Yeah, I was just thinking
It stopped.
And he gets it.
maybe
Nice.
having trouble with the pod launch.
What the hell just happened?
I know. I've never
I
seen
personally
anything
don't
like
pod
that
launch
before.
there, so
Better report
I
this
wouldn't
to
know.
Riot.
Yeah, normally
Let's move to an area
most
with
people
better
won't pod
reception so
launch
we
there.
can
Most
contact
people will just do a
command.
double jump and a plunge, but you can. There are a lot of different ways of getting over that barricade if you want to take it safer or if you want to go faster.
So here's the reason we picked up that transport earlier. If Marble actually gets this clip. Right, there we go. So we pod launch at that box, and then we dash and we clip outside of the map using the box. And then we're going to be able to save here. And this saves some time. No pun intended, but yeah, it's going to let us save and
saves quite
save
a lot of time. Even it saves a larger amount of time when we time loadless because this load screen isn't there in the timing, but it's been timed and it still saves time RTA on PC. I don't think it saves any time RTA on PS4 though.
Yeah, it doesn't, I don't think.
Maybe we should.
No.
So, well, I doubt Mash will go for that.
I don't know, he might,
Operator
maybe.
to 9S. Data upload complete.
Roger.
I also have an incoming message from the commander. Initiating playback. 2B.
Okay, so here we have more
We've
movement.
lost contact with several
Just again,
Nova
just
units
trying to
that were on their way
optimize it
to
as
the
much as
surface.
possible.
Their black boxes
Take the
are
straightest
online,
line you
so
can.
we presume they're still
Just get
alive.
from point A to
We've
B
tracked the location of their signals.
as easily
So
and
we
as
need
quickly
all
as
Nova
possible.
units on the surface to head over and investigate. End transmission.
So we actually have like,
I heard something about
I think
that
a lot
lab
of
the
people's
resistance
favorite
camp.
section of the run, well, maybe not the run, but
Target location
casually,
confirmed.
favorite
I'm
section of
worried
the
about
game,
other androids. We should probably
which is
check
the
this out.
amusement
Looks
park,
like
which
our
you'll see
surface
pretty
route's been
shortly.
cut off.
We also
Yeah.
might see a
So
skip.
2B,
Actually, no, we will see a
those
skip.
machines out in the
That's
desert look
really
just
new, and it's
like
actually,
androids, right?
I don't know how
We
precise it
androids
is,
were modeled
but it's a
after our
really
human
precise skip.
creators. So why would
Do you
machines
know
try
how
to look
precise
like
it
us?
is?
I
There's no point
do
trying to
not
work
know
out
how precise it is. I've never
unsolvable
tried it
problems.
I
myself,
suppose.
but from seeing other people practice, it seems like it is very precisely timed.
Yeah. It's like 2 to 3 frame, maybe, I want to say. Anyway, this is actually a skip here to jump over a cutscene. We do a double lift, which I explained earlier. To get over a cutscene trigger, it saves minimal time, and you actually lose time if you don't get the double lift straight away.
This is weird.
So yeah. Then again, we're going to be having another out of bounds coming up. Like I said, this game is just insanely broken. There's a ton of skips.
Yeah, there aren't too many walls that you can't find a way to clip through.
Yeah, if you want to find a clip for this, like if you want to find a clip, there's like probably a clip. Almost always you'll be able to find a way to clip through a wall if you want
So
to.
yeah, Marbles is going for that skip. He's going to go for roller coaster skip. So here he's climbed on top of the roller coaster tracks. He's going to hit a trigger there, which spawns the tank in, or activates the tank. Then he's going to hit the trigger there in that crack, which sets the roller coaster off. And
I
then
don't think. Oh no, he
got
did.
it. He did. He got it.
I thought he was gonna mess it up.
So that he can clip off the back of the roller coaster and send the roller coaster off, and then hits a trigger at the top of these stairs, and then he's gonna lift up here to hit the final trigger, which means now the roller coaster will go all the way around, and when it gets to the spot that you would normally get off, you are teleported back up there. Saves a bit of time anyway, and it allows Marbles to kill this tank and get some extra XP.
We can rest easy now, huh?
Yeah.
This tank gives 444 XP, so
What's this?
it essentially guarantees, or almost guarantees, level 20 at the end of the run, which is our main goal. You'd probably even get level 21 maybe if you did a mooch room with it, but not sure that's worth it. So yeah, he's also going to be taking out some enemies here while he has the time. There's another variation of this skip where you actually go and grab a spear, but no one's going to be doing that, so there's not much point in talking about it.
Yeah, with the strat to get the spear, there's the risk that you don't make it to the spear before you get teleported back, and then you gain nothing from doing the roller coaster skip.
I mean, you do gain some time
Well,
because
you
the
gain,
skipping
yeah, you gain a
techniques
few
takes time.
seconds.
Yeah, but other than that, you don't gain anything, and it defeats the purpose of risking a run. Since you actually do lose, I think it's 26 or 27 seconds if you fail it, so...
Yeah, it's a skip that you can try once, and if it's failed, you lose quite a lot of time, because you will be stuck on the roller coaster and go all the way around the tracks without teleporting up to Beauvoir's room.
This is Beauvoir, the second, I guess you call main boss. Essentially here we want to just pretty much damage her as fast as we can. That's the whole point here. We're going to be seeing double damage glitch used, and how much damage you can really do. Also seeing, well, combined with taunting as well.
Are we seriously being attacked?
This is a second phase of Beauvoir. Essentially these are dead androids, and they send out these
But they aren't
shockwaves. They're basically dead.
They can turn into weapons. Okay, yeah, they're
Anyway.
basically dead.
Yeah, they send out these shockwaves, and if you get hit by them, you go into this hacking section. Each of them loses around roughly like, I want to say 4 to 7 seconds, depending on RNG, where the orb spawns. Yeah, it's pretty terrible if you get hacked by him. Anyway, Marvel just showcasing the damage of double damage glitch. It's really insane, honestly. It's almost silly how this is even in the game, but it is, so. And he's also going to be SDing here. Do you want to explain that?
Oh yeah, here Marble's SDs, because we do a death orb later on. Pretty soon actually.
So,
SDing leaves you at a lower HP value so that you can take damage from an animal after doing one part of a quest and then death walking back to where you need to finish the last part of the quest, because the way that death in this game works, you don't lose quest progress in most places. You will go back to the last place that you spawned, lose any XP gained since you last saved, and teleport back to where you last saved. I probably explained that terribly, but
That's basically just... Essentially, we're just killing ourselves to save time. We want to be at a low HP to be able to perform it, because SD leaves you at 1 HP.
So why don't the machines, or the aliens who created them, attack the bunker directly? They originally came here from outer space, right?
well, there are a few theories about that, but no one knows for sure. Hard to tell what an alien is thinking, you know?
Okay, so this is Pascal's village. Yeah, you'll see you'll see it very soon. Why killing yourself is very important. Anyway, so Marvel's going to be picking up this transporter here. This is used many times to save a lot of time in terms of death warping and transporting to it, because transporting is generally faster than running, as we've already seen. Also, earlier during the run, Marbles picked up an animal bait, which is what we're going to be using here.
Operator 6022B.
I actually get really paranoid when Marbles goes for this strat.
yeah,
It's a
Marble
really old
goes
strat.
with- Yeah, what he does there is plunges into the pit to get the
What's wrong?
dialogue with 6-0 started sooner, and then goes round what is a box that a few people clip through. Marbles doesn't really like the clip, so he goes around, and he sets off the dialogue earlier so that he doesn't have to cancel it later on.
So yeah, there's actually two things to point out here. First of all, Mash isn't doing desert housing skip, he's also picking up Fang of the Twin, which is a stupidly old strat. It's something that you should probably never do, but I mean, to each their own, as they say. Anyway, there's also the second thing is Marbles is doing this thing that we call ball hopping. So when you jump with a ball, you gain acceleration, If you ever played like Celeste or something, when you bunny hop, you get more speed. That's the idea here. Yeah, we're gonna be performing that death warp I was talking about earlier. But
Yeah, the other benefit to bringing a bull here is that you have a consistent way of getting hits. Well, if the bull doesn't go wherever the bull's gone here.
Now do you?
Yeah, it's actually slower to get a ball, but or a moose, depending on your RNG, but it is faster to get killed by one. So yeah, we're gonna kill ourselves there, and now we're gonna get transported back to Pascal's village. Skip saves like a minute or something. I think maybe it's. I think it's like a minute 20. So it's a huge skip. Very, very important. Marbles is roughly something like, I want to say 2.5 chapters ahead of Smash right now, so I don't see Marbles losing this race.
No, there's a pretty long distance between them here now.
Anyway, so if you remember Engels from the prologue, he is back, but there's 2 of them this time. But we only have to kill 1 still, so good game, good developer oversight. So yeah, we're going to be seeing the big boy here shortly. It's actually a really stupid skip that we're going to be doing, and my restream died again.
I died at the same time.
Yeah, it's really easy, but it's really bad. It's a terrible skip, actually. I hate it.
The hole in the wall.
The flight units should be on the roof of that building up ahead. It'll be dangerous, but we're not going anywhere unless we pass through that Goliath's legs. We should be careful.
Me getting hole in the wall is basically RNG.
I mean, I get it consistently, but when I don't get it, I just lose like 50 seconds because I can't double lift off that. Marbles will probably get it. You guys will see what I'm talking about. I think.
Marbles normally gets it.
I don't think I've ever seen him miss it. Maybe I've just cursed him. Probably have.
Oh, it's cursed. Oh no. Please no.
Oh wow, I really did.
Oh no.
Oh, anyway. Oh. I apologize, Marby.
Okay.
Never mind. He got the double lift, so it doesn't matter.
To go over the very small wall blocking off that boss arena.
Yeah, developer oversight once again. They thought no one would be able to get over that invisible wall, but we can just jump over it, and we skip a whole angles, which saves around. It's 40 to 2 minutes, depending on your RNG. Because if he punches, you can attack him, but if he doesn't, then you have to use range. Anyway, here's a prime example of why we picked up Pod C. You're gonna be able to chunk him in 2 pod programs, which is gonna kill him straight away. Now Mumbles is ahead by about 3 chapters.
Yeah, I'm not sure what much his PB is, but I think that's likely what he's trying to compete with at the moment anyway.
Yeah, probably. I know that he wants to get a better run than his previous races. Don't know how well that's going for him at the moment.
We've intercepted a signal belonging
Yeah, I missed most of Mash's other races.
I've missed all of them.
I probably also did. I can't remember.
I've missed a lot of races because of time zones. Anyway, so just there, we got a call from Commander, which is like the main chick of operating. Anyway, we actually cancel out her dialogue there with 9S. This gives us a thing that we like to call Skype glitch. So if you've noticed, every time we get like a call from someone, the little ringtone plays and the face of the person has to show up. Now that we have Skype glitch, that doesn't happen. So every time we get a call, it's going to save some time. it is actually banned. It's a banned thing if you have it at the start of a run, because it persists through your game until you restart it. So yeah, you can have your run disqualified for having it, which we've actually had a bit of issues with that.
Wiped down.
Actually, the first sub 140 of this game had Skype glitch, so unfortunate.
Machines are weapons capable of evolution.
Alright,
And he never played again.
We can become aware. Eventually, the intelligence within our network began to
here, this
surpass
fight that Marbles is in is completely timed, but Marbles is going to try and kill Eve here to get a level up, an extra level up over what you get from not doing it, and then he will, after killing Eve, do a clip out that lets you kill a few enemies for XP and clear out the tunnels, so it's easier to get through them on the way back.
Why them?
You might also pick up a chest which has some materials for another upgrade to our sword.
Yeah, going for Virtuous Contract level 3, which is a 55 or no, yeah, 55% damage increase. So that is also really huge.
We will allow you to assist us. You were made in their image after all.
Assist you with what?
It's simple. We need you to locate the humans on the moon and bring them to us. We will then dissect.
So yeah, doing that clip
in order to drag their
lets us
into
get
the
a
light.
decent amount of
Surely
XP
you
actually.
see the
It's pretty
attraction
significant when going for level 20.
We'd never do that! Can you believe this, 2B? This guy's bonkers.
Well, I suppose this concludes negotiations. The only remaining option.
Right, looks like Marble cleared out everything in the
The
tunnel.
same way we destroyed
He did get quite a
these
quick clip out,
pathetic
so
little aliens.
That's pretty
was all
nice.
good for him.
Yeah, that's just a 2-minute home section, purely based on Adam's dialogue.
Back this way again? What a pain.
Stop complaining.
Yeah.
2B.
So yeah, not only does that give us XP, but it allows us to be able to dash swing through these tunnels. It saves minimal time, like I said, but overall it does that up.
Transporters? They let you transfer your
This
consciousness
dash
to a
swing
temporary
is
body
faster
back
than
in the
dashing
bunker.
and dash punching. So
Up next time. So
They're-
I'm not really sure where Mash is
Yeah,
going.
I'm not sure what Mash is doing. Did he get the resistance camp?
I don't know. I think he
He
did.
might have
Maybe.
chose the resistance camp option. In this situation, it probably would have been a lot faster to just reload. Well, I don't know if he did save scum. If he did save scum, it would have been a lot faster to just reload a save
Nah, he
compared to
didn't.
this. Okay.
Anyway, so we're going to be seeing another
Man,
example.
the commander
no,
sure
we're
is
not.
Oh no,
Never mind.
he
huh? And now
greedy
we have to go back to
marbles.
the city ruins.
Greedy marbles. And for the risky ally dialogue
Why don't we
cancel.
rest a little bit, 2B? It's been a while.
Anyway, so there you can, there's a trigger in front of the door. And, essentially you can just, do what we did in prologue and cancel the dialogue. Saves around 5 seconds. Match is picking up the res camp transporter. And going to the bunker.
He's on.
So now, I'll be honest here. I've never seen this strat before. I've never seen this strat.
Yeah, this is a new one for me.
In my 8 months
That's
of playing
wow.
this game, I don't think I've seen this once. So I'm really intrigued at this point. And Marbles actually does get Virtuous Contract level 3, so that is, he's gonna be
That is
doing big
nice.
boy damage late game. But the one downside to this is that it makes 2 skips that are already precise, even more precise, which is this, I guess you could say, double edge. But other than that, everything's fine and gives you a huge amount of DPS increase. So I'm also not sure what Mash is doing. Like I said, I'm like genuinely curious. I'm also on Marble screen. We're gonna be seeing a high jump.
Say, 2B,
which is going to be able to let us jump over a dialogue trigger. There's a dialogue trigger for a quest there, and we're just able to skip it. And saves a bit of time, but yeah, it's nice in the long run.
We don't get to choose our assignments, and you should work on keeping your opinions in check. Your aren't allowed to be emotional, remember?
I think some of us are better at that than others. This must be the commercial structure Pascal was talking about. The records say it was once a facility known as a shopping center.
Okay, so here we might actually be seeing allied dialogue cancel.
Maybe.
Yeah, I hope he gets this one at least. This is quite a big one because the dialogue here is quite long.
Okay, he gets
He
it.
got it.
So again, he talks to 9S and walks into a dialogue trigger, and it cancels out both dialogues. And that saves 12 seconds, maybe 11. That was actually
very fast forward.
Yeah. Again, just Virtuous Contract just showing why it is so strong.
Yeah.
Did he equip chips? I didn't see.
I'm not sure.
Looks like the forest is just ahead.
Maybe not. I guess we'll find out shortly.
Yeah.
I think Marbles is like also running in English. Yeah, he is. He usually runs in Japanese, I think. So he's gonna be losing time RTA anyway.
Yeah, I think he's running against race splits anyway, so
that's fair enough.
I will too be.
I saw him only go into the red right at the end of his prologue, which is obviously not what would happen if he was running against his PV.
Yeah.
What is with these guys?
Ash actually has the clip, he just needs to SD. His
Yeah, he
SD
can
cancels
SD
animations.
How are we supposed to reach
I don't know why he didn't SD. I guess he doesn't know.
It's okay,
yeah.
he's through now. And, no,
Never mind, he's gonna put it out. Oh yeah, here we have actually, like I think a month-old skip. It's actually relatively new. It's a long jump, and essentially we're gonna be doing just a series of, it's not that hard, honestly, but a series of attacks in the air to get us across that.
yeah, it's
Hopefully
not that
Mash.
hard. It looks impressive when you first see it, though, just because it's a long string of inputs.
Yeah, it is, I mean, it's sort of impressive, but it's not that hard when you actually put the practice in for it.
No, definitely not.
Also, Marbles there, he clipped outside the walls, like punching into a log, because this game is great. Now he's going to be scaling the castle wall, and now he's inside the castle. And this skip saves like a minute. And this is like one of the oldest skips in the, I don't actually know. This one came out like when the game first was released. So yeah, it's really nice. And coming up here we have our best girl,
2B.
A2. So this fight is pretty hard actually. It's like I was talking about earlier. These humanoid enemies have really tiny hitboxes, like Adam, Eve, and A2. So that's the only reason this is hard. She's also insanely fast, especially when you taunt her, and she does a lot of damage. Yeah, hopefully Marbles gets a good fight.
I'm not sure how promising it's looking at the moment, but
It's not looking too good. You want her to not dash at all. It's RNG,
Yeah.
but she's dashed 3 times, so yeah, we're not going too great. And imagine Marble screaming right now, screaming spaghetti, as he
yeah.
usually does.
The problem with A2 as well is that she attacks a lot and throws out a lot of long lasting attacks that it's very easy to accidentally perfect evade and counter, which is slow, basically.
Yeah. She can also stagger you. She's also really hard to stagger. She breaks out of it insanely easily. I think Marbles also doesn't have resilience.
Yeah, it didn't look like he had resilience there, so I guess he didn't equip his chips. Interested in why he doesn't have chips, though.
Maybe he just forgot. I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, it's possible.
It'll be faster.
Boy, coming up we have the most boring part of the game. Well, speedrun wise, casually it's pretty great.
Oh, this is why I didn't equip his chips.
Oh, never mind, I've
think
spoken
it
too
was-
soon.
Yeah.
I have found out why he didn't buy the chips. So, Marbles is going to be going to the desert. Now this doesn't make much sense if you're doing speedrun, but the reason he's doing this is because he's picking up... Wait, is he gonna do taunt plus 6?
He's doing taunt.
Why did you ask Pascal about AT?
I refuse to
I
believe.
think, at least.
I refuse to believe he's doing taunt plus 6.
Please.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Well,
I want to see.
Though I suppose such intense
if he talks to Emil here and backs out, he's doing plus 6 chips. Other than that, he's doing taunt plus 3. Anyway, so this is Emil. Never seen Emil. This is Best Boy. He sells chips, which enhance our stuff. Okay, he's just gonna go for taunt plus 3. So now we have taunt plus 3, which means that we're gonna be doing huge damage. Very big boy damage.
Big damages. VC3 on taunt plus 3 is gonna
The
be.
VC3 and taunt plus everything's going to die in like 2 damage glitches. Yeah, so this is gonna be doing what is it? 280%? Something like that. So Marbles are going to be dealing 280% damage, he's going to be taking 280% damage. So without buffs, he's going to get 1 shot. And with buffs, he's going to take half his HP from probably every enemy in the game now. If they're taunted.
Yeah.
Which is pretty scary if you think about it, but...
Yeah, he's
Alright, Resilience and taunt plus 3, there it is.
Report.
It's the resource anyway.
Oh, I'm glad I got to see that. Myth, he doesn't bot Myth though. Myth doing the taunt plus 6. Taunt plus 6 does 400% damage to you. So
yeah,
anything is
everything one shot you, no matter what you do.
If you guys have played this game before, and you've heard of the difficulty called Very Hard, where everything one-shots you, getting taunt plus 6 will essentially do that in normal, which is what this run is on. So we actually see a pretty interesting skip. Hit a trigger, a cutscene trigger, by plunging down, and then we void out to get teleported back up, and then we plunge down to here. This little area, call this Shore Fight. As you can see, the damage Marble is doing is just nuts.
Yeah, rip that
it's just
chicken.
insane.
It's very big. Oh god, what's the great to do this?
Oh my,
spinner.
that fidget spinner.
Oh my god.
I've never seen a fidget spinner die that fast in NG.
No.
Only in NG plus. Wow, that was interesting.
I think that's the last
Anyway,
of
so
the
Miles
machines.
gets an insanely good Shore Fight because he has a lot of damage. He has like the second best sword in the game, plus taunt plus 3, so good. Anyway, so this is Grun. Oh well, going to Grun. Grun is the most boring part of the game. It's a 14-minute shmup. It's just terrible. Like, it's really bad. But there's a twist. So the NieR community, we will pay whoever can find a skip for this section, a speedrun viable skip. We'll pay them $2,000 and a pizza. So I mean, it's free real estate if you think about it, guys.
Yeah.
Please.
Also, I have offered to put in a can of a caffeinated alcoholic beverage if anyone.
Any alcoholic beverage you would like.
Any alcoholic beverage, yeah. I'm willing to go all the way to caffeinated, so.
We're not joking. Like, we're being
This
serious
is no
about
joke.
this.
This can be skipped.
If this can be skipped, we want to skip for it. We've tried like almost everything, and we just can't find anything for it. But if someone can, That's 2,000 US dollars in your pocket.
Requesting support from any friendly units in range. We've come under heavy fire from the enemy.
If you're Australian like me,
Damage and is unable to engage.
that's something like, that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
That is like $2,700 in your pocket. Right there. You know, if you're from, I don't know, where are you from? Where are you from? UK?
Yeah, if you're from UK, that's like,
That's a decent amount of money right there.
that is still a good amount of money, yeah.
That's like 1,700 euro or something? Something like that. Anyway, it's a lot of money. Please find a skip.
Please do.
I'm begging
you
you guys.
If I never have to do this again, I'll be so happy.
Yeah, if I never have to do this again,
I'm picking up a large scale
I don't know. You'll be like my savior. Anyway, this is the Goliath Flyer. The big boy. Again, showing why the pods that we pick up are very useful. We're going to be able to do a pod program here, switch pods to another pod program, and boom, we're going to get massive damage on this boy. This gun gives a lot of XP, and one thing to point out is that 9S can actually take your experience. If he gets the kill, only he gets the experience, and you don't. But if you get the kill, you both get experience. It's really silly. 9S levels up with you, but you don't level up with 9S. Anyway, Marvel's got it, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, 9S can basically ruin your leveling for the run if you get bad enough luck on him stealing some of the big XP enemies.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible if he does, but fortunately that didn't happen.
Is that a machine? It's freaking huge.
Okay, so this is Grun. The bane of every NieR Automata speedrun existence. People have literally not played this game because of this guy. But I personally I still play.
There are runners who have just stopped because this guy exists.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's like 10 minutes auto scroller, 4 minutes trying to play well. It's pretty terrible. But anyway, in saying that, if you're looking for a new speed game, I highly recommend this one. This is a 6-speed game. It looks hard, but it's easy. It's really easy to learn. It's hard to be good at though. But I still recommend it. If you haven't even played the game, I highly recommend you buy this game. Grun casually is like awesome. Like I would love to play this guy casually again. Not speedrun wise. Fuck that. I can't use that language, can I? Well, sorry. Anyway.
It's already happened, I think. It's
oh well.
We're too
oh well.
now.
Anyway. Yeah, but this guy is terrible. But yeah, this game is awesome. I highly recommend you pick it up if you haven't already. It goes on sale pretty frequently. I think anyway, it's had a lot of sales recently. Yeah, if you're looking for a new speed game, and you want a long run, or you just want a fun run, I highly recommend you pick this one up. There's many categories. We have an awesome community actually. Like, I've been in a lot of speedrunning communities, and this is like definitely the best one that I've ever been in. Such a chill community, honestly.
Yeah, it's all very chill. And this run is, like, when you first start learning it, it's a very easy, very chill run to learn. There's not too much pressure on doing certain things until you want to go very fast.
It's very rewarding too. It feels so nice to go fast in this game.
Definitely.
Anyway, I guess while Marbles is on this part, we can talk about MASH. I don't know what MASH is doing. I saw him running, in Pascal's and stuff. He's doing some really outdated old strats. I guess that's what happens when you're just the older runner. So I mean, I guess it happens.
You can talk about MASH, I have to be right back.
Okay. So I think Winsuper's leaving me now. He's gotta go do some stuff. But yeah. This is Core 1 actually on Marble's screen. It's the only part of Grim that isn't auto-scroller. And there's 3 cores, and you have to kill all 3 to be able to kill Grim. That is the first one of 3. There is some a little bit of RNG to it. You can get like troll claws and the guy can just spin around forever. But fortunately Marbles didn't get any of that. And it also really shows why the pod programs save a lot of time.
I'm the commanding officer, 4B. Don't worry, we'll take it from here. Let's leave this area to the reinforcements. I have an idea. You and I should meet up at the spot I just marked.
We've got mortars lining the shoreline here. All the EMP shielding in the world won't help against close-range mortar fire.
Okay, so this is the mortar cannon. It's actually a pretty cool polygon. I actually like this. Essentially, we're going to be shooting these orbs into Grun's mouth when he opens it. Yeah, you shoot 3 in.
This thing's armor is too
But unfortunately, this doesn't kill him, believe it or not. So we get to spend a whole another 4 minutes with this guy. Great.
Lay down some fire in its stupid mouth.
It is possible to not zero cycle this. Grun can close his mouth and then you have to wait again. That loses around 11 seconds. But fortunately Marbles didn't have... It's nice.
That enormous machine is an ancient weapon. It was designed to help annihilate the androids, but it wound up going out of control. I was part of the machine's network when it happened, so I remember it. The moment it reached land, it went berserk and began attacking everything in sight. No one could figure out how to stop it. We eventually marooned it deep in the ocean, but it seems to be searching for a way back.
Hey, 2B, I think I have another idea. You keep that thing right where
Anyway,
it is,
so like
okay?
I've been saying, there's nothing we can do here to make this guy go faster. It's all just about waiting and killing these guys that spawn, these medium flyers, small flyers rather. Yeah, nothing we can do.
No! He has a plan. Just hold on.
Also on the topic of speedrunning,
I'm going to see if we can use those missiles back on the shore.
another awesome speed game you guys should play if you haven't is Celeste. I highly recommend that one too. I do prefer NieR though. I recommend you play NieR first, then Celeste. But NieR is awesome. It's awesome speed game, awesome casually. If you haven't played it, you definitely should. Also, Mash didn't actually skip this angles, which we saw Marbles do. So he's going to be losing like around a minute here. Yeah, these are the cores that I was talking about. So essentially, you just have to take him out as fast as you can. Like I said, Grun can do these troll cores like that, where he spins around twice. It doesn't give you the core that you want. See, like that. It's really unfortunate, and it does add up really massively actually. But unfortunately, it happens. Yeah, Marbles takes a pretty quick work of the second core. So we have around roughly 2 minutes left on this guy. We're gonna get into the good stuff, which is actually my favorite part of the game. After this guy, it is just crisp, clean, awesome combat, awesome skips, and actually really challenging skips. The next coming skips are all pretty hard. I'd rate them all between 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 if you were to rate skips. Which I think actually makes the run pretty exciting, and it separates the good runners from the great runners, in my opinion. There's also a ton of movement, and like I said, movement is key in this game. To have a good time, you need to have key movement. You need to have optimized movement. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that on Marble screen. Marbles is coming up to the final core of the end of it, which is great. This is also the last shmup section in the run. Shmup section. Can't say that apparently. Anyway, it's the end of it. 4 out of 4. And once again, showing the pod program right there, how much damage it does. It's really great, actually. Okay, so coming up, we have the most precise skip in the game. Not in terms of inputs, not in terms of frames, in terms of like your angle and how like precise you have to be in your clip. It also is extremely precise with versus Contract 3, which is what Marble has. Essentially, when you get a higher attack speed, it changes the clipping properties of your weapon. So I don't actually know if Marble will get this. He might even opt to do the easier version. He might not do it at all. I don't actually know. Okay, it seems Marble is actually going for the easier version. So there's 2 versions of this skip. This is the easy one. Code copied city clip version 1. Essentially we just clip out and yeah, you don't do that. That is an example of what you don't do. I think Marbles actually did the softlock thing. Yeah, Marbles did the softlock, the infinite fall. This is going to be interesting. There is a way you can get out of this, but I don't know if he knows the way. And Mash just died to Eve, so yeah. This run is just spiced up in all different types of ways. Mash just died, and Marble is like softlocked. Yeah. So how's everyone's day going? It's a pretty big rip for Marble if he doesn't get out of this. Yeah, this is... Well, that's exactly what he's thinking. I'd imagine. Okay, he almost got out of it. He did the right thing. I think he can get out. Yeah, there we go. He's out. He's definitely... Stop pod launching Marble, please. Thank you. Okay, he's just gonna opt to not do it. Smart decision here.
Bunker to 2B.
2B here.
We've got a number of broken down access points on the field. The cause appears
Alright,
to
we're
be
back.
an EMP attack from a gigantic machine life form. If you encounter
The run
any offline
continues
access points,
for both
please
runners.
repair them for us.
Understood.
Marble now coming up to everyone's least favorite boss. Adam 2. But this place actually has sick music. Again, another reason to play NieR if you haven't played it. Also to speedrun it. Anyway. We also have the second most precise clip in the game. Some argue that it is the most precise. Some argue that the other one is the most precise. I personally think that this one is. I don't have any trouble with the other one. But this one, the skip is actually a run killer. A lot of runs die here, so hopefully Marbles doesn't get screwed over here. It is very possible, but he is an insanely good player, guys. He is second in the world, pretty top tier, as they say.
Or we machine life forms, I suppose.
Some people actually say this clip is easier and more attack speed, but I don't know personally.
Family, religion.
Oh, and he gets it first try. Marvel's just clearly showing that he's the alpha gamer here. Just showing his skill off. That is considered by many to be one of, if not the hardest skip in the game, and he gets it first try. I mean, what to say about that? He's just good at the game.
Almost spiritual. And yet it's currently nothing more than an android graveyard.
Anyway, so I should probably explain this skip. So essentially this skip is this whole phase of Adam 2. Okay, he stepped in the elevator way too early.
The core of humanity.
Okay, anyway, what's supposed to happen is when Adam says only then, you're supposed to step in the elevator, and then Pod is going to say, your little Pod here is going to say, proposal, continue search for 9S, and it's going to cancel Adam's dialogue. That skip saves 45 seconds. Performed properly, but Marbles unfortunately messed it up. He entered the elevator too early, didn't get the dialogue skip. So, yeah, it's pretty unfortunate.
We are immortal, invincible.
I mean, in the end, I don't think it'll matter.
All those infinite bits of data, there exists not even the
Marble is way too far ahead of Mash at this point. But Mash might be on PB pace. I don't really know his PB. But yeah, that's what happens if you don't get the skip. You have to listen to Adam ramble for ages.
I have severed my connection to the network.
Okay, so this is phase 2 of Adam.
Let us embrace death.
Essentially we have to get him to half of his HP. It's going to happen very fast because Marble has 12 plus 3 and purchase contract level 3. As you can see, his health bar is just getting absolutely melted. Disappearing. Again, showing why DDG is just actually insane. And then again, in phase 3, the same thing happens. We just need to do half of his health bar. That's all. And there we go, that's Adam. He's dead. Okay, here we have another one of those ally dialogue cancels. Marble's gonna be talking to that girl, stepping into a dialogue trigger, and that's gonna cancel both dialogues and completely canceling one. That saves 20 seconds, yeah, something like that. Let's just read the mail here as opposed to a different transporter. And now we can run straight to the factory from the start of the game.
I suppose he might know something. Pascal, can you hear me?
Oh, hello, 2B. Do you need something?
I need to know if you've seen any new trends or behaviors among the machines.
So yeah, again, this section is all about optimizing your movement. Much like every part of the run, but this part especially. There's a lot of movement here, but there's also a lot of combat.
They wanted to discuss a peace treaty.
No kidding.
Anyway, Marble's just running to, remember from Prologue, the very beginning of the game, running to the abandoned factory. This time I'm actually going to go into the deep part of the factory, which we can get to at the start of the game. And yeah, then we'll get into the boss rush. So this is where all the spicy stuff happens. And where a lot of people lose time to other people. This is where the good runners are separated from the great runners. There's also a strat here that we do where you look up 2B's skirt, and there we go, she high-fives you and that pushes you forward a little bit. Saves like 1 second, I think. But it's pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting strat. The perv strat, as they call it. I've heard many names for this strat.
It certainly does.
Okay, so in this section, we're just gonna be waiting for this Mooks guy. These guys are called the Mooks. They are a religion that believe that dying is good, and dying makes you become a god. I'll be hearing that quite a lot actually.
This all seems pretty shady if you ask me.
So
Okay.
why are you still here?
We also have
Brought you this far, didn't I?
the hardest skip in the game coming up, or considered to be the hardest. Not the most precise, not the most input caring. The hardest skip. The bread and butter of the hard skips. It's actually the last skip in the game as well, or the second last one technically. That's an interesting camera angle by Marbles. I've never seen that one before, but I like it. I might try that one out actually. Essentially, there's lock on, and if enemies aren't on your screen, then there's no auto lock on, so you just dash swing. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so we're gonna be seeing 2 skips here. The first one is really simple. We're just gonna run over to this wall over here. Again, oh, never mind, I was gonna laser. Anyway, again, just showing how broken this game is. Just throws his sword at the wall and he clips straight through it. Perfect. Developer oversight, by the way. Alright, and now this is where the hard skip comes into play. This is where the interesting stuff happens. Okay, so Marble's gonna be waiting for this elevator. Now the factory in this game, much like everything else, is insanely broken. The factory especially though. So we need... Oh, welcome back. Just in time for factory skip.
Hey, nice.
Anyway, so the first part of this is the NieR room void out. So there's 3 required triggers to spawn the boss at the end of the factory. And oh, Marble's going for V1. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, anyway, so the idea is we have to clip out of this room. Clipping out of this room will let us activate the elevator. We need to take the elevator back up to the Mook's room. Nice, Marbles gets the clip out, which is good. So this is gonna now allow us to take this elevator. So we're gonna open it up, go back up. So now we're going to the second part of this skip. He's going to be doing this clip here on this pipe. He's going to clip out. He's going to plunge. He's going to preserve his momentum with SD. Spam it repeatedly. He's going to hover and he's going to void out and hit a trigger at the same time. So when you void out, it places you back to your last known location where you were on the ground. That's exactly what Marble does. He voids out, hits the trigger. The game essentially puts him back at his last grounded location, and he's teleported back up. He then goes along this little pipe thing, which we saw, plunges down to this, and now he's at the end of the factory. This skip saves 2 minutes or something. This skip is massive, and it's actually really hard.
One of the biggest skips in the game.
I think it's the biggest skip in the
Probably
game.
the biggest, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's definitely the biggest, actually.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Huge amounts of time save, but also a very hard skip to get. There's a lot of...
Yeah. It's really high risk, high reward. You can lose a lot of time because there's many clip outs after each other. You can fail the skip. You can even soft lock on that skip. That is it's a very tough skip. But Marbles gets it down pretty nice. Almost perfectly. Which is pretty impressive considering the fact that this is a race.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think any nerfs are kicking in, but potential, maybe, I don't know, maybe the race nerves, maybe there's just race nerves in general.
Yeah. Well, with Marbles, to be expected that he would do that nicely. He's a great player.
That is true, but he's been known to fail that skip. He's been known to get a 127 with no factory skip.
Yeah. That is true.
95, 98.
Anyway, this is Soshi. If you played this game, you know that he's one of the 4 balls. Some people call him Ball, some people call him Soshi. I call him Soshi because that's his name. Anyway, the idea is that you have to wait around 50 seconds-ish till you can attack him, and then you can attack him. And then since Marble has all this damage, he's just gonna absolutely annihilate Soshi.
Yeah, oh god. Okay, I had a slight frame drop on the restream, and he was on full health, and then was on no health in between the. Okay, that's insane.
Marble just annihilates him. Goodbye, Soshi. He just got deleted. Anyway, we're coming up to the boss rush now. The big juicy part of the run. Like I was saying earlier, this is where the real skill is shown between runners. This is actually one part where we... Oh, hey Marble. He's doing what we like to call Shabu skip. Shabu, by the way, is a great commentator. Yes. Shabu. Recommend following him on YouTube. That music good. Great person. Anyway, as I was saying. Team Trash AF on Twitch, by the way. Highly recommend following him. Anyway, this is called a Shabu skip. Essentially, we pod launch in a wall, and we try and clip. Marble's got a bad clip. He's gonna try again, hopefully. No, he's not. He's gonna give up. That is actually a really hard clip. Essentially, the idea is that we. Oh wait. Yeah, never mind. Oops. Anyway, we clip through the wall, and then we do some out of bounds movement, and then we plunge down to this little area where Marble's just plunging right now. There we go. Just like that. But you can do it from up there, and it saves around 8 seconds. So it's a pretty decent amount of time actually. But it is very challenging, especially without a spear.
Yeah, it's a very difficult angle to get, and I don't think Marble has a mini-map either, so it just makes it more difficult.
That was certainly something. I had no idea such a vast space existed beneath the abandoned factory. I need to return and investigate as soon as possible.
Anyway, here we have a around a 1 minute 30-second section of movement. We're heading to the burning resistance camp. The resistance camp from the start of the game is now on fire. Very, very Monka-esque, very scary.
I see.
And also my least favorite part of the game. I actually really dislike this part. Well, this one section. You will see why shortly.
Say again?
Yeah, just some movement through here. Trying not to zigzag. Mumbles might even go for Archer-like swag here.
From the way he's been going for some of the swag recently.
Well, he went for it, but he failed it, unfortunately. Yeah, essentially you can just surf down that whole side of the ramp there for whatever reason. Like I've been saying this whole run, developer oversight, by the way. But yeah, he did unfortunately fail it. He was too far to the left, so he just ended up plunging. Sorry, too far to the right, so he ended up just plunging. He's coming up on the burning resistance camp.
Yes, everything is on fire now.
That is a very loud boy.
People are being eaten.
Yeah, these machines are actually eating people now. So quite interesting to say the very least. That's a way of putting it. Marble's with the interesting pod launch strat. Anyway, so this is the side scroller, my least favorite part of the whole entire run. Essentially here these bipeds can give you bad death animations. When the bipeds die, they can just sit there and it still has collision, their bodies still have collision. So you can just get blocked for eternity and you can't do anything until they explode. Sometimes you can have more stubbies spawn, sometimes they just won't die, sometimes they won't take damage. It's just terrible. Anyway, Marbles does it pretty clean, fortunately, because of weapons and stuff that he has.
Did
He's coming
Marbles
up.
buff at the start of that fight though?
What was that, sorry?
Did Marbles buff at the start of that fight?
Yeah, he buffed.
Yeah, so Okay.
You again?
This is Bokushi. So she's a brother, or sister, whatever you wanna consider them as. And yeah, he's an electric boy. So this electric water will shock you for half your health if he's taunted. He'll one-shot you if you don't have buffs on 1+3. And again, it's just like the Soshi fight. Just damage him. And just like
Yeah,
that, it's a
Marbles is gonna be hoping for a quick vacuum. He got it.
You okay?
okay. This is Core 1. Another boss. Like I've been saying, this is just the boss rush. The big boys, back to back to back. Essentially, we go up this hill here so we can get an higher ground advantage on this thing, because fighting him on ground is absolutely terrible. It just doesn't work. So we go up this hill here to get the height advantage, and our DGs will go instantly on him on the top of his little ball in the middle, because that's the only part you can damage. And yeah, we just get big DPS off and he dies.
What do we do? There's too
And
many.
then we have, coming up here, another boss. Believe it or not, never would have guessed.
Pascal?
This is I think my least favorite boss. What about you? What's your least favorite boss?
Core 2 doesn't really cause me any problems, but I don't go for the zero cycle, so...
I go for the zero cycle. I get it pretty consistently, but I have been getting consistently anyway. But yeah, hopefully we see a zero cycle so I can show it off, you know?
Yeah.
Oh well, actually there's these boys here, these angry boys, attacking Pascal's village. One of these guys can actually one-shot you with a specific attack, so hopefully Marbles doesn't get that specific attack. It's all good. Right, here we go. So this is Core 2, Core 1's brother that we just witnessed. Marbles with taunting and damage is just gonna... Yeah, this is a dead boy. That is a dead Core 2. Oh, we also got the dialogue skip. There's a dialogue skip there where we cancel Pascal talking.
That just means that this section after Core 2 changes from being basically timed to when Pascal's dialogue finishes to how fast we can get there.
Yeah, saves around 3 to, well, like 5 to 3 seconds, depending on how fast you can do this movement. I want to say around there anyway. Could be even less, could save no time at all actually, it's just slow. Okay, this is the final boss of the run. This is Eve, Adam's brother. Remember Adam? Tubi stabbed him in the chest and he died. And yeah, Marbles is just annihilating his HP.
Eve's just molting, so...
Yeah, Eve is an angry boy because we killed his brother. Yes, Adam and Eve are brothers, guys.
He's absorbing the life force of
I don't know why Marbles isn't going for phase 2 skip. That's really interesting.
I don't know why he's not going for phase 2 skip when he's got VC3 and 1+3, but...
I mean, to each their own, as they say, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he doesn't lose any time anyway.
No, he won't lose any time because he's gonna kill Eve before the.
He kills him before the dialogue anyway. It doesn't matter. Never mind. I spoke too soon.
That's good though.
This is going by way too fast. I've never seen such a fast Eve.
No, this is pretty insane.
Yeah, this is the power of 1+3, doing an extra 280% damage to him. That is huge. Anyway, Eve is just getting absolutely melted. He's taking all the damage in the world. That's phase 3 already done. That's insanely fast phase 3.
Jesus, that was like a 3-stop phase 3 or
Yeah,
something?
that was interesting. Anyway, this is phase 4. We can't use anything now but ranged attacks. So Marvel's just going to be pod firing at Eve, shooting him in the face, and trying to get as close to him as possible, and that's going to be a dead Eve. That is,
yeah, this is basically
an insanely fast Eve. How many playthroughs for A? A ending is the one playthrough.
Just the first playthrough, yeah.
First playthrough, okay.
It's okay. I can always reload.
Anyway, that is going to be the Marble. Time is going to be
But you'll lose
when
you, the
final
you that
cutscene
exists at this very
starts.
moment.
Guess so. But we can't
And
upload this
Mash is on Grun, so phenomenal, as they say.
So
9S.
That's it, that's it. That's all she wrote. Well done to MarbleSoda. Finishes with a very respectable time. That's about a 1:33, I want to say.
Yeah, it's around 133 loadless. Considering he went off for the 12+3 earlier and went for a lot of swap, that is a very good time.
So yeah, Mash is on Grun. We remember Grun from earlier. This thing is boring, like I was saying. But again, I will repeat it again. $2,000, a pizza, and an alcoholic beverage of your choice if you can find a skip for this boss. Oh, not this boss, rather. But this area. And here he is. MarbleSoda himself. The man, the myth, the legend.
Hello.
Hello. So, I have some questions for you while we're in Grun.
Okay.
Alright, first question. Why the 12+3?
I have no idea. I just decided. I saw I had Virtuous Contract 3, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for taunt, and I'm just curious, like how much time I could save. But unfortunately, my game decided to be basically pooping itself, and I was never over 50 FPS that entire run. So.
Oh, good. That's Alright, my second question. What was going through your head when that CCV1 happened? CCCV1.
I was terrified, honestly. I thought
Yeah,
I had actually gotten stuck.
I've gotten that before during a run that was like on pace to PB, and it was terrible. Like,
yeah.
I felt bad for you. I thought you didn't know how to get out of it, but you got out of it.
Yeah, I was just trying stuff because there wasn't really like I've had that before, and I don't really know what's the most consistent way to get out of it, other than save loading.
There's no consistent way.
Unfortunately, I didn't save. I should have thought about that and saved there just in case. But you know, just go for it. It's risky.
Also,
go for it.
My third question. What about that mansplaining?
It's actually not as bad as people think it is. So there is a line.
Not the clip. I'm talking about the dialogue cancel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the dialogue cancel, I got greedy. I wanted to save like a 1/10 of a second, and I ended up losing however much time I lost.
You lost 45 seconds instead of saving 0.1.
Yep. Yep. I
What
play
else?
risky like that sometimes. But I don't know.
Yeah, I was actually surprised you got that roller coaster skill.
I was too. I didn't think that was gonna work, to be honest.
Yeah, I saw you double jump like insanely fast. I'm like, wow, he's not gonna get this. He's way too low. Then he got it, and I was actually shocked.
Yeah, I had to. So like, I kind of adjust with it depending on how my double jump turns out. And then at that point, I can either speed up the dash into pod spin or slow it down if I need to kind of adjust my height. So I noticed I was low, so I just did an instant dash into pod spin, and it worked. I mean, I was surprised it did, but
I was really surprised.
Yeah, so like in the end of the run, I started going for like a lot of the swaggy stuff, but it didn't take me long to change my mind just because of my FPS. Like it's too hard. Like I noticed, like I went for the version 1 9S room, and I saw what kind of height I got, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't gonna happen. Not with this FPS.
Wait, if you want to say something, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh. Well, anyway. So yeah, I was looking at that V1, and I thought you had some FPS drops, but I couldn't notice anything. And I just thought, how did he fail that? It's not that bad of a high jump. So yeah. I kind of suspected you had FPS drops, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah, they look really minor when they're on the small stream.
Yeah.
Actually, even on like when I'm just doing my normal streams, I don't think it's really noticeable. But my FPS counter from far is like there were points when it dipped, like during Bokushi, or Core 1, I mean, it dipped down to like 35 FPS.
It was good, man.
So it was bad.
Well, nonetheless, it's still a pretty okay run considering you bought 1+3 and some other stuff. That is RTA though, so what is
Yeah,
it loadless?
It was a 132.51 loadless.
It's still somewhat. That's okay.
Yeah, it was. I mean, pretty much that entire run was an all-you-can-eat buffet of spaghetti, but
yeah,
that's fine. I mean,
pretty much.
It happens.
I can't really complain when my FPS is that bad. I mean, I'm not even getting 60 FPS in the credits right now, so I mean, it's pretty bad.
This is pretty good, man. And anyway, on another unrelated note, I've been talking about this $2,000 Grun thing, and I was just curious if you wanted to just tell the people that this is a real thing. Like,
oh yeah, this is 100% a real thing. I know Kanaris and myself, 1 and 2 respectively, on the leaderboards. We've both put a $500 bounty on this. So just between the two of us, it's 1,000.
Yeah. Not only that, but it's 2,000. That's another 1,000 if you can't count, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Grun is a terrible section for a speedrun. It's great casually. It was great. I enjoyed it. Music's great, but just 14 minutes of auto scroller.
Yeah, nah, maybe not.
Not really a fan.
Anyway,
I mean,
another
it's
thing
typically consistent, but
yeah.
I did bad. FPS, man, it hurts.
Another thing I want to mention again, like I was saying earlier, if you've played this game and you want to play more of this game, I highly recommend you speedrun it. This is a great speed game. Easily the best community I've been in. I'm sure Marble can agree, and Win Super. Like,
yeah,
it's awesome community.
I mean, I've actually,
yeah.
To be honest, this is actually the only real speedrunning community I'm in. The only other game that I speedrun is so small that we don't really have a community. It's like 2 people and me. So, but
yeah, it's
all
still a
things
community
considered,
though.
this was my first game that I ever picked up to speedrun, and I knew I had actually planned to learn the speedrun before the game even released. So I had just kind of decided I've had interest in this in a while. For a long time, this game looks awesome. I'm gonna learn it, and I stuck to it. I've been around since basically demo days. I didn't run the demo, but I had been around, like kind of seeing what speed tech was coming out and everything. So I've kind of been through everything for this game. Mash is the same way. He's actually the one who started the speedrunning community for this game. And
oh yeah, that's true.
So he's doing a lot of he does a lot of the older route stuff. So it's always interesting to see how much the run has really progressed from what it was.
Yeah, he actually picked up Fang of the Twins, so
yeah.
He's like around 14 months back. But, it's fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean he's been focused on other games, and he runs.
Yeah, he's an OG NieR
online marathons and stuff. So he's been a busy man.
Yeah, NASA and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to talk about because I hate Grun.
Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad section for commentary. It's gonna be worse. Well, we know it's gonna be worse too because we're gonna start having double Gruns. Like,
yeah,
all
double
through.
Gruns.
Oh, soon
double Gruns at Core 2 at the same time.
Yep.
Huggers.
Oh no.
This is terrible. Again, friendly reminder: $2,000.
And a pizza.
And a pizza and an alcoholic beverage of your choice.
Give me.
Yeah, it's a rough one. It's way too long. It's repetitive. I mean, I'm closing in on 200 completed runs.
Yeah.
So
oh boy. Grun 200
Yeah.
times. Yikes.
200 completed gruns.
It's got yikes written all over it.
It's bad. Plus, you know, that doesn't count all the times that I've soft locked after
E
doing it.
as
So,
well?
you know, not counting E. I have like, I think I have 8, 10 completed E runs, something like that.
Yeah,
so.
not counting E, not counting weaponless.
Oh yeah.
boy. All the Grun.
Too many categories.
Friendly reminder, again, there's a lot of categories within the NieR Automata speedrun. Another reason to pick up this game.
I might just start running macro because there's no grun in it.
No, don't run mackerel, no. It's worse. It's worse than Grun.
And then you just RNG reset because you didn't get a mackerel on your first attempt.
Yeah, exactly. You should run an NG plus mackerel. That's where it's at.
Yeah, you don't have RNG. You just have to do
no
the
RNG.
shmup.
Just have to do the shmup.
It's
Or
just
6, by the way.
Man.
I think I got a 351 shmup or something.
Doesn't Mark just change from mackerel RNG to booze RNG?
Yeah. Not really. You can do it with E-drugs. Anyway. Mash.
Yay.
Do you think he'll go for Copied City? Skip. That's
I doubt
my
it.
question.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I highly doubt it as well.
I don't think that was even around. Well, I mean, it's been around a while, but I don't think he ever really practiced it.
I
mean,
think
they
from
came
what
out
I saw of
basically
his
the same
races he
time.
skipped, he
Never
didn't
mind.
do it the other times.
He didn't go for that drown warp. He's definitely not going for Copied City. Never mind.
Yeah, Copied City, both of the versions actually came out pretty close together. Like, version 2 came out maybe a week or two after.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of... It's a really hard clip to get, so a lot of people who haven't put a ton of time into the game just, you know, it's just not worth it. It only saves 15 seconds, like, you're gonna lose time if you take more than, like...
Oh wait,
He's giving it a go.
Never mind. Never mind, he's going for it.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I don't think he has a setup at all, he's just gonna give it a little go and then
Can't punch through that one mash.
he's probably just gonna kind of stab in the dark a little bit, see if he can get it.
Yeah, I believe in him a little bit.
I don't blame him. It's why not? Just try.
Yeah, nothing hurts from trying.
Just hope you don't do what I did.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Don't do that. That was
Hey!
Oh wow. Wow, he actually
no.
Oh.
Yeah, you got in and
Never mind. I actually got excited and then I just got ruined.
He's probably not been through that often.
I don't think he's been... Well, actually, he's definitely been through there before. He knows about it.
yeah. Yeah, it's weird when you get out through that wall there, because there's actually an invisible floor to your left, but there's not one to your right. Ideally, you go to the right. Yeah, ideally you go to the right, but if you cut your plunge angle too close when you're plunging down to the next path, you actually just hit that invisible floor. It just looks kind of silly because you just plunge into the ground.
When I do it, I just I clip through and then I dash forward. Well, not dash forward. I dash to the left. So I go off that and then I plunge. Did you do the blind? Oh wow, you got it again. Oh, he's doing. Oh, oh, he pulled it off.
He's going a bit too far.
Never mind. He went to the wrong tunnel. He was trying to skip to negotiations.
Oh, where is he now?
Now he's in the T-pose soft lock, as I call it.
2B pose.
2B pose.
Oh no.
Alright. I don't know if Mash knows how to get out of this, because not even I do. I just know that you can.
You just kind of have to spam input.
You just spam your buttons and you...
Okay, Mash is done.
Yeah, it's not easy to...
Well...
I've never actually done that, so...
Alright, well...
I have no idea how you get out of there.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Well, that's all she wrote, I guess.
It's over, it's over.
Yeah, thanks for the spiciness of the +3.
I tried.
That
I
8.
actually was scared at some points.
Well, I mean, you can't die if you have buffs up, so it's not that scary. Anyway, it's 4 AM. I gotta go to sleep.
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
You should go do that.
Oh wait, unless Mash wants to come in here first.
Yeah, if he
Maybe.
wants to.
Is there anyone after us? We've got time, or?
Mush isn't set up. Should I just message saying you can come in?
I'm not sure.
Oh, hello. There we are.
Yay.
It's pretty unfortunate that you.
Yeah, I can't do anything from here.
Yeah, it's possible to get out of, but it's just pretty hard to. Marvel's got the same thing.
Yeah, I lost like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I managed to get like 1 attack, but it didn't change anything. I can't do anything.
Yeah, it's really hard to get out of.
I had some unfortunate mishaps. I was kind of on pace for maybe a PB at that point, but
yeah, game's
Pretty
weird.
unfortunate.
It doesn't like voiding out.
no, it doesn't. And because I'm in such a weird spot that I'm like right on an edge, it just doesn't let me do anything.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really unlucky. Anyway, on another unrelated note, you want to follow the runners and the commentators, in the chat. MarbleSoda and Mash as the runners.
What did Marble finish at?
A 135 RTA, so 132 in-game time.
Oh, pretty. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had like a lot. So I had that same deal with as you here. I got stuck for like 2.5 minutes or something here.
Yeah.
And then I got the mansplaining clip with level 3 sword, and then I didn't cancel the dialogue because I accidentally used the elevator too early.
Like,
So
just as I was going into that, I was like, okay, where's the elevator? And I just didn't see it load in. And then by that point, I was like, oh shit, like I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went over it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't realize I went over it until I realized that like a whole different area loaded. I was like, oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Yep.
So I was kind of hoping it would put me back inbounds, but it didn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't line up.
That's a weird one.
But well, I did manage to do a few different things. Unfortunately, bridge skip was not working for me.
Mm. Yeah, it's tough, and I know it's even tougher on PS4.
Yeah, I had no
Yeah,
problem
it's
with it
a fun
earlier.
game.
It's just when it came to the actual race, it really just didn't want to get me the height that I needed. Unfortunately, it happens.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough.
Anyway, I think that's it. Is it anything
Yeah, I
else?
think that's it. I don't know if they have anything after us, but I figure we probably shouldn't too much.
I think there's a rando of some sort after us. I think.
Yeah,
it's-
there's a rando pretty soon.
But
There's a rando at 3:15.
I mean, that was a fun race. Like before, wasn't a pain in the ass. I did die in negotiations right off the bat because I got quick killed. That was interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, okay, well, I'm glad that it happened like that soon, and I'm not like low on items. But I wasn't expecting him to hit me for as much as he did. But I think what happened is the buff wore out just as he was hitting me, and then that's what took all my health.
Yep. That can happen.
And because I don't do pod slow-moing at all, because I'm just terrible with it, it's not easy to avoid getting hit like that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
but I mean, up until this point, like I was pretty happy with the run. Obviously, maybe I shouldn't have tried this.
Yeah, I mean, it only saves 15 seconds. It looks cool when you get it, but for 15 seconds, assuming you get it right away,
Yeah, yeah, that didn't happen. Like when I first phased through, it's like, oh, I'm phased through, and then it pushed me back out. I'm like, oh, well, I probably should have just left it and just tried to do it normally, but
yeah.
oh well.
Yep, I ended up going around normally after I finally fixed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's rough.
bad ones.
Yeah, I mean, the
fun,
game's
though.
fun to play and fun to run. It's just, there's a lot of annoying and tough things that the game throws at you, you know, when you're doing some of the glitches, right?
Yeah.
I did manage to do, like, okay, so, funny thing, I don't know if anybody else was laughing about it, but the animals weren't behaving at all for me.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
I wasted all 3 baits, and none of them got an animal because they decided to hit me and then run away. I was like, oh, well, that's great. So I ended up going a long way to the desert, and then I ended up using the clip there to get out and then go slightly around, like you guys currently do. I only recently learned that. I wasn't too comfortable trying that, but since the animals weren't cooperating, I figured I'd give it a shot, and I seem to have gotten it pretty quickly. But
yeah.
There's a lot of things like getting into the the Adam fight that I'm still not comfortable doing, because that's another part where you could just really get stuck.
Yeah.
Adam's actually pretty hard, considering he's one of the first bosses.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, the skip leading up, the housing skip is rough, and you can soft block, well, quote unquote soft block. And then the fight is terrible, so
it's get iframes and
my
all
least favorite. Yeah, it's easily my least favorite section of the run.
I think everybody's not favorite section is gonna be Grun, like hands down.
Oh yeah, obviously.
But if we were to pick another section that isn't Grun, I think my not favorite is gonna be Factory right now, and that's because I don't know the skip.
Yeah, without the skip, Factory is rough.
That's all I can say is if you can get to Factory and you can't do the skip, you're gonna hate Factory because the Crushers are not friendly at all sometimes. And it's not even that too. Like you have the Crushers to deal with, like it'll insta kill you, and then the Suiciders could be a big problem too.
Yep.
And some of them spawn on the. Is it the second set of Crushers that Suiciders spawn with it?
Yep, the second set.
Yeah, and I had an instance once so far. I haven't had that before, but a Suicider spawned and immediately blew up, and then threw me into a Crusher as it killed me.
Yep.
So.
Yep, I've had that happen.
But like I have had times where like the Suiciders blow up and they shoot me past all the Crushers, and I'm like, oh, that worked.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was looking forward to getting to Factory and seeing how that played out, but unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun race. I'm glad I wasn't as tired as I normally am at the point of doing the runs, but just more practice. Hopefully, more people pick up the game and do some runs as well. And I mean, there's a lot of other categories to do too, not just any %. But Prologue is a good way to get introduced to the game because it has the most intensive section of skips.
Yep.
So.
And Prologue kind of teaches you everything you need.
Yep, and then after that, it's just trying to apply them to the different areas of the game where you can actually break out of bounds. So.
Yep.
But yeah.
I think we're just about done with everyone said what they want to say.
Yeah.
So
it's late for you guys, so or for commentary.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, thanks for the run.
Yeah, thanks to the runners for doing this. Thanks to.
I'm off to bed.
Alright.
Yep.
Thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting this.
Yeah.
Someday I'll get that dream PB and actually be somewhat further up on the board, but more work required, obviously.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Anyway, thanks for Speed Gaming. Thanks for doing the run. Thanks for coming, Win Super, and
thanks for helping cover the time I had to go for.
That's alright. Anyway, I'm
thanks
off to
everyone
bed.
who organised this for us.
4 AM, poggers.
Alright, bye guys.
Yep. Later, guys.
Have a good one.